Hey guys, Mystery Wheel Gunner here, back with another episode of Random Gun Thoughts. So, on the previous episode, I talked about how it looked like we were possibly rounding the corner regarding the whole, guns and ammo panic buying thing. Looked like guns and ammo were coming back in stock at elevated prices, but at least, they could be found. But that was a little while ago. And, because of the current election situation where, some sources in the media are calling it for Biden-Harris, and other places are still reluctant to call it. It's a big mess, and the end result is, the gun and ammo panic buying is back. Now, of course, it'll be in different degrees depending on which part of the country you're in. Here in central Ohio, where I'm at, it looks like the gun and ammo panic buying is once again in full swing. A buddy and I went to a local chain, Vance Outdoors, in near Columbus, Ohio. They have several locations. We went to the one in Obetz, just in case anyone was wondering. Anyway, he went in to see if he could, get in line to get the Ruger 5.7. And we got essentially turned away at the door. There was a big sign that said, essentially saying, if you weren't already in line right now, for firearm sales, if you didn't already have a number for the firearms counter, well, then you're out of luck. You're going to need to come back another day because the queue was full. That sucked. When we arrived a full hour before closing, usually that's more than enough time, but during a panic buying period, you got to be at least, I don't know, it's going to be like the airport. You know how the airport wants you there 3 hours before departure? Yeah, it's going to be like that now for buying a gun. Got to be there 3 hours before close so you can get a number and get in the queue at the gun counter. Not blaming, the store. It's just, kind of sucked for my buddy, but that's what happens when you get blindsided by a panic buying episode. Anyway, we went in there just to see what the ammo situation was. I mean, we were already there, so they weren't turning away regular sales. So if you were just there to buy ammo or whatever else, you could go on in. It was just firearm sales were being turned away. So we went in there, and wow, the handgun ammo was just a wasteland. There were 2 boxes left of 9mm, steel-cased 9mm, going for $20 for a box of 50. There was quite a bit of 40 Smith & Wesson, so for those of you who held on to your 40s, you can still find 40 at elevated prices, of course, but at least it's still there. And there were some boxes of 10mm, actually. Fewer 10mm than 40, but at least it was still there. And once again, elevated prices. I'm a reloader, so I went to look at the reloading stuff. Powder was, it looked pitiful. The more commonly used powders were totally gone. I think there was one 1 pound bottle left of... I forget. I think it's 231 or something like that. But most of the other common ones were gone. Bullseye, Power Pistol, Winchester 296, Alliant 2400. Yeah, those were gone. Most of what we saw was just the specialty stuff. The stuff you'd use for the African big game cartridges. So powders like Ritumbo, stuff like that. That's pretty much all that was left. Primers were gone. The primer shelf was stripped bare. For a little while, I was like, maybe they moved the primers. I can't believe all the primers are gone, but nope. They were all gone. I should have taken a picture. Unfortunately, I did not, but all primers. So, small handgun, large handgun, small rifle, large rifle, and the Magnum stuff gone. Even shot shell primers completely sold out. So, wow, that was quite a shock. Projectiles. The projectiles looked okay. I'm not sure how long that's going to continue to look okay, but they had I'd say an okay selection still of projectiles. I saw some 357 Magnum in there. I don't need any right now. I got a pretty good stock, so I didn't pick any up. But kind of a moot point, you know. If you're out of primer and out of powder, those projectiles don't do you any good. So, yeah. So, a good lesson there. You know, just because you reload, you're not isolated from panic buying. Your reloading press does not create the components. You have to get the components: projectile, powder, primer, and the brass. Yeah, your reloading press only puts them together. It does not create the components. So anyway, yeah, unfortunately, looks like the panic buying has reignited. So whatever the timetable was for this panic buying to stop, well, looks like it's been it's been lengthened by a little bit more. And finally, we have another book overview here. This is from the Images of America series from Arcadia Press. They often do things to highlight a certain aspect of America, its history, its culture, society, and yes, even its industry. So they did a book on Smith & Wesson. This book covers Smith & Wesson's history from its inception to roughly the late 50s. So unfortunately, it does not cover all of Smith & Wesson history. So from the 70s on, you'll have to go to a different book. But from its inception to the late 50s, this book does a pretty good job of covering those years. I've got some pages already bookmarked here. So let's take a look at what's inside. They do have a lot of pictures in this book. That is one thing I like about this. And look at that. Who is that? Oliver Winchester. What's he doing here? Well, did you know that the first iteration of Smith & Wesson didn't really go quite as planned, and Smith & Wesson themselves sold their shares to Oliver Winchester, who would later turn that company into the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. Of course, we all know Smith & Wesson would do a second collaboration, also called Smith & Wesson, and it is that second collaboration that continues to today. So neat little tidbits like that are found in here. Let's move on here. Lots of pictures, like I said before, lots of reproductions of old advertisements. And look at that. What's going on here, huh? The Tsar of Russia equips his imperial forces with Smith & Wesson. And a Smith & Wesson revolver is the choice of the Japanese Navy. Obviously, this was before the hostilities of World War II, obviously long before Pearl Harbor. But just goes to show you, yeah, Smith & Wesson had a mind for international sales way back when. Keep going here, and whoa, look at that. I can't read kanji, so I don't know what this is, but I do know it is an advertisement for the Smith & Wesson M&P revolver. This is circa, probably 1960 or so. And it says FBI here. Maybe they're advertising that, hey, the FBI is good enough for the FBI, should be good enough for Japanese police. So, yeah, when hostilities came to an end, when World War II came to an end, and many years after World War II, when Japan and the USA were once again at peace, yeah, Smith & Wesson was like, yeah, we can sell revolvers overseas to Japan once again. Keep going a bit here. Check it out. Very early advertisement for the 44 Magnum. This advertisement is so early. This was before the 44 Magnum gained the designation of Model 29. The Model 29 designation was not given until 1957. And I believe the actual revolvers bearing the Model 29 mark on them did not appear until 1958. So very early advertisement there. Here's head of the FBI at the time, J. Edgar Hoover, being presented with the first .357 Magnum revolver, the one that would be eventually named the Model 27. Going on here, more early advertisements. Check it out. I love this little one. This little one right here shows some highway robber accosting a female bicyclist. Now, I guess that was a thing back in the day, a real concern for cyclists. I guess there were highway robbers. And there's a good advertisement. Look how she's pointing the revolver right at his face. There's a good deterrent right there. This one was, according to the little blurb here, this one actually was called the Bicycle Revolver. Moving on some more. You can't discuss Smith & Wesson history without mentioning these two people, and this book has pictures of them. On the bottom here is Elmer Keith. Yep, the legendary Elmer Keith. The guy who laid down the blueprint for the .357 Magnum, the .44 Magnum, and the .41 Magnum. Up top here is Ed Mcgivern, a competitive slash exhibition shooter from way back when. Before there was Jerry Michalek, there was Ed Mcgivern. He set many world's records for revolver shooting. Some of those have been broken by Jerry Michalek, but I hear there might be still one or two that even Jerry Michalek has been unable to break. Anyway, this and the rest of the book is laid out in this similar fashion. Lots of pictures, promotional photos, lots of pictures of a glimpse inside the old Smith & Wesson factory. Overall, in my opinion, a very well done book. I know the book seems kind of thin, but it is packed with a lot of information, and as I said, lots of photos. I really like the reproductions of the old advertisements. It gives you a little bit of a glimpse into the culture of America at that time. So, if you would like your own copy of Images of America, Smith & Wesson, please check the description box below for the link to my Amazon affiliate link. Well, that's badly worded. Let me try that again. So if you would like your own copy of Images of America, Smith & Wesson, please check the description box below for my Amazon affiliate link. You can buy this through Amazon, and by using my affiliate link, I'll get a few quarters thrown my way, and I can use that money to help run this channel. All right, and that about does it for this episode of Random Gun Thoughts. If you like what you see, give me a like, give me a subscribe, support me on Patreon. Take care. I'll catch you guys next time.